What's going on, guys? GameStone here, and this video I'm just going to be pretty much bringing you a post-game analysis. I'm going to do this with some Laker games in this season, so let's go ahead and get started. Obviously, the season opener happened for both of these teams. The Clippers, obviously, without CP3, and the Lakers with the Lonzo Ball. We lost by 16, and I say we because I'm a Laker fan. I think a lot of people just find a reason to hate on Lonzo Ball. Let me just talk about Lonzo Ball for a second. I don't think he had a bad performance. A lot of people are talking about how he shot 1 of 6, and and that's the guys that's supposed to be the face of the Lakers. You know, it's kind of funny to read all those comments because they have no idea what they're talking about. We did not sign him up for his shooting. We did not sign him up for scoring. We signed him up for his facilitating and his leadership, okay? If any of you guys know the NBA, you guys know that's true. Unless you're one of those haters and just say 1 of 6. And then let's talk about the 1 of 6, okay? All the shots he took were good shots. He had an open three-pointer. He missed it. Good angle. Still missed it. He had a couple floaters. He missed. Good shots. Still missed it. Missed a layup. Good shot. Missed it. Those shots that he took but missed, you know what? I can't even complain about that. Because as long as he's getting good shots off, that's all that matters. You know, you guys are acting like as if other players never had bad games. And who was defending him? Patrick Beverley, who's a great defender. You could say a top 5 guard defender right now in the game. If he's causing trouble to Steph Curry, what, you think he wouldn't push around Lonzo Ball? And you guys are still criticizing the guy for going 1 of 6, even when he took great shots? People were not moving around on the Lakers. You know, it's really hard to create offense if your teammates are barely moving around. Just to name a couple, Luol Deng, you know, Corey Brewer. They were not moving around at all. So, I like Lonzo's performance. He grabbed 9 rebounds. So I liked it. He only had 4 assists. I think his performance is kind of underrated because Lonzo Ball did hit his teammates that were open for 3 or just open jump shots or even open layups that our team just bricked. Now that's something that Luke Walton addressed. You know, we have to capitalize on Lonzo's passes. You know, that's the only way our team's going to score. Obviously, we did not do it. Everyone shot bad, it seemed like. You know, Brandon Ingram, 3 of 15. You know, it just wasn't. We shot 40% overall, and you guys might think that's okay, but trust me, in the first half, it was very disgusting, and we just let the Clippers slide in the second half. Then let's talk about defense. You know, our defense was okay in the first half, but I think the main problem was that the Clippers always were scoring, and whenever they weren't, they're getting offensive rebounds by DeAndre Jordan or Blake Griffin, and then putting it back up and in. So by the second half, the Lakers' confidence was just gone. The energy was gone. Everything was gone. The Lakers just didn't come out to play in the second half. That's just how it went. Stuff like that happens. And a lot of Laker fans are jumping to conclusions that we should trade Ingram, we should trade Randall, we should trade blah, blah. You know, you don't know anything, okay? If you guys are going to say that based off one game, you guys are ridiculous. One thing I want to point out is a concern. Luke Walton's system revolves around perimeter shots. Now, last year we had Nick Young, we had Lou Williams, and we had D'Angelo Russell. This year we replaced it with Caldwell Pope, Brook Lopez, Lonzo, Bogut, and Kuzma. They're not as good shooters as a Nick Young, as a Lou Williams, as a D'Angelo. You know, so it's really hard for the Lakers to run that type of systems when you don't even have that much offensive firepower, you know? So I think that's something that that they're gonna need to look into. They're gonna improve on that perimeter shot, because you can't simply just run that system with just being trash at the 3-pointer. They shot 25% from the 3-pointer. That's unacceptable. Now, like I said, we have shooters that can shoot. Brook Lopez, I know he could shoot, but he shot 1 of 5 from 3. If he's our main 3-point shooter, there's a problem with that. Brandon Ingram, we've seen him make a few threes. We've seen some potential in him to make his threes, but for the most part, he's pretty inconsistent when it comes to shooting. So that's pretty much scratched off the list. Lonzo, he shot 1 of 3 from 3 today, and he took good shots. I'm not gonna say anything about him. Jordan Clarkson, he had 18 points last night. A good performance. Obviously, he was the offensive spark that we needed, but it wasn't enough. Jordan Clarkson, I would say 8 out of the 10 games, he probably has a game that goes like 2 of 9, and then 2 out of the 10 games, he has the game which we had yesterday, 18 points, 7 of 16 shooting. Kyle Kuzma, he didn't do much. I mean, he had 8 points. I think he shot 50%, so, he didn't get enough minutes. He's a good shooter. Randall, we've seen some sparks in him in terms of shooting the 3 or shooting the mid-range, but for the most part, we're just seeing bricks, Caldwell Pope, he is not the most reliant shooter. He shot 29% in Detroit from the 3, so he's not a scorer. He's a 3-and-D player. He can shoot. He can score some threes here and there, just like Randall and maybe like Ingram can, but he's not that reliable scorer. So you tell me how we're supposed to run Luke Walton's system with this. The only way it's gonna work is if Ingram actually makes his threes. If Randall can make his threes, if Caldwell Pope can make his threes. It was working so well for us last year because we had scorers on our team. We had D'Angelo, we had Nick Young, we had, Lou Williams, and sure, we didn't have great defense last year, but I mean, we allowed the Clippers to get 108 points, so not much improvement. I mean, what am I supposed to say? That we obviously had some good players on our team that played, obviously good, but what about Larry Nance? Sure, he had 14 points, 12 rebounds, but what about the open layup he missed? What about the silly turn? He got the rebound. He was passing the ball and it slipped out of his hands, turnover, Clippers score. Silly mistakes like those the Lakers need to fix. And, trust me, I was very frustrated with how the Lakers were playing. Very frustrated. But it's still the first game. Lonzo's going up against Patrick Beverley. No one's moving around. Everybody's out of energy. The crowd is silent even when somebody scores. Julius Randle got postered. It just wasn't our night. Missing all our free throws. Larry Nance shot 0 of 2 from the free throw line. Lonzo shot 0 of 2 from the free throw line. Kuzma shot 0 of 2 from the free throw line. Randall shot 1 of 2. We shot 61% from the free throw line. You know why they call it a free throw? Because it's literally a free throw. And it's supposed to go in. Oh my god. Wow, the Clippers on the other hand shot 92% from the free throw line. We missed 9 free throws. And shot 25% from 3. Those numbers can tell it to you guys that we just didn't have a good game. It just wasn't our night. I think another mistake was the rotations. I'm sorry, Luke Walton, but what were you thinking putting in Luol Deng at the starting lineup? I don't want to hear any of this veteran nonsense or not rushing the young guys in, but what the heck? Luol Deng, what did he do for us? He was one of the reasons why the offense wasn't flowing in the first quarter. He was just standing there. How are you an NBA player and you literally just take $70 million away from us or whatever it is, and you're not doing anything for us? What are you doing? Everyone's always a veteran on the team. He's teaching the young guys what? You know? We got Bogut. We got Brook Lopez. You know? Corey Brewer. Caldwell Pope even. Luol Deng, what does he do for our team? He doesn't do anything for our team. He ruined the starting lineup. And so when Luol Deng went to the bench and Kuzma came on the court, Lonzo wasn't on there. So Kuzma, he didn't play as good as when Lonzo was there. Or when Lonzo wasn't there. And then Lonzo came back later in the second quarter when Kuzma was all tired. The rotations were messed up. We're getting out-rebounded. We couldn't hit a shot. Now, I don't care if we ended up with 41% field goal percentage. We couldn't make a shot. If you guys watched the game, we couldn't make a shot when it mattered. Ingram was bricking. Lonzo was 1 of 6. I'm still going to call that bricking. You know? I just... man. This type of stuff gets me frustrated when all I see... I've been waiting all summer long to see this Lakers squad. And I didn't want to see... And, we only lost by 16, but we're down by 30 at the end of the third quarter. So, it was much worse than what the end result said. Okay? Why didn't Tyler Ennis play? Why was Alex Caruso in the game for so long? Granted, we didn't have Caldwell Pope, but that wasn't going to change the outcome of the game. Heck, Wesley Johnson was looking better than our entire team. Wesley Johnson? Are you kidding me? And Brandon Ingram, everyone wants a bash on Brandon Ingram now. 3 of 15. Okay, I get it. He shot poorly. I'm frustrated, but guess what? He's a second-year NBA player, and you guys are already going to jump to the conclusion that he's not going to be a part of our future, that he should be traded, that he's trash. I don't know. Did you guys call Kobe trash in the second year? Probably. And then you probably saw what he did later, and then you're like, oh, yeah, let's go Kobe, yeah. That's the thing with Laker fans that piss me off. They see one flaw in one game, and they're like, trade him, trade him, trade him. It's pathetic. We just don't have the offensive firepower that we had last year. And I think that's going to be the main problem this year. We're going to be struggling on offense, and our defense is not even that great. If our offense is going to be bad, then our defense might as well be good to recover from it. But no, this team is not suited for the playoffs. It's not. If we had scores on our team, then, Lonzo would be... He would be able to create more plays. He would allow the offense to flow better. It's not Lonzo's fault. Lonzo did not play bad. In fact, I'm going to give him a B- for his performance last night. And you guys are probably going, oh, he's 1 of 6. He's not signed up to do that. And the shots he took were good. He was guarded by Patrick Beverly. Oh, my God. I'm just frustrated. I'm frustrated, but I'm hopeful that the Lakers will do something. They'll do better against Phoenix tonight. I don't know how they're going to do. I mean, their shooting is pathetic. Randall shooting up bricks. Corey Brewer, bricks. Ennis, 1 of 3, bricks. And Brook Lopez was forced to take 19 shots because nobody else could score. Lonzo was running that pick and roll with him because nobody else could score. And I don't know why. Like, all this hype. I Lonzo's going to be a great player. But stop it. I don't want to hear no more about the Lakers possibly making the playoffs. Oh, it's finally here. There are still huge flaws that are going to prevent us from making the playoffs. So fix that first, and then we Laker fans can finally talk about them making the playoffs. But I don't want to hear anything from Laker fans. I don't want to hear anything from them. Because they seem like they're the most fake fans. And I'm calling out my own team's fans. Because every time a player plays bad, they immediately say, trade them. That's why you're not the GM of the Lakers. Because if you were, we would go 0-82. That doesn't apply for every Laker fan, but it does apply for some. Obviously, the Lakers lost by 16, but it should have been much worse. If you guys enjoyed the video, drop a like, comment down below what you guys thought, and share me your side of the story on the game. And please subscribe to my channel. Thank you guys, and stay me.